From the Great Northwoods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, Democrats have pushed through a nearly $10 billion two-year state budget. Plus, a Waterville man will plead guilty for conspiring to provide materials in support of terrorists. And we'll hear from a Bangor Area Recovery Center about an overdose reversal drug. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith and thank you for tuning in this morning, and happy Friday as well. Let's start off the day with a check of that forecast. Devin Biggs joins us now.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy Friday. Your first weather forecast sponsored by the More True team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. They work throughout the state of Maine, serving both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. All right, let's get into things. The last of a gale warning here will be dropping at around 8 a.m. this morning. Things will begin to improve from there. I'm watching that gale watch right there, too. That could get expanded further off towards the north and east, but for now, it's not being expanded just yet. That further down toward the south by Boston is up until about 10 a.m. as we head towards your Sunday. For now, though, we're looking rather quiet out there. The only idea that we'll be seeing today is increasing clouds, as we'll be watching for another system that will begin to move in from the west going toward the east. And we're seeing all the excitement right about in here. This will track off towards the east over time, and this will give us the opportunity for some more rain and snow that will be on the way soon. We have a little bit of snow on the way later on tonight. So increasing clouds today, some snow on the way later on tonight. Could be seeing about an inch or two before we're all finished up there, before it starts to switch over to rain as we head towards your Saturday. Alrighty, as for the wind, nothing too ridiculous now at about 5 to 10 miles per hour today, but it will start to increase, especially as we head towards your Saturday, maybe up to 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusts up to 25 miles per hour in a few spots. So for today, increasing clouds, highs in the mid-40s, now west wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, increasing clouds, temperatures in the 40s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up.
Democrats pushed through a $9.8 billion two-year state budget that ensures there will be no government shutdown, but sparked controversy with how they did it. An emotional debate preceded the approval of the budget in the House on a 79 to 61 partisan vote, following a breakdown of budget negotiations. The Senate also gave initial approval on a 22 to 11 vote. The strategy of adopting a basic budget on a simple majority vote early in the legislative session prevents Republicans from using a state government shutdown as an 11th hour negotiating tactic. Democrats said approval of a bare-bones budget with no new programs preserves Republicans' negotiating clout for additional spending proposals to be considered later in what Dems say would be Part 2 of the budget. Republican leaders expressed major upset at the pushed-through vote.
Reducing income taxes for lower and middle-income people is a modest and reasonable price to generate a bipartisan budget.
There is still time for this ship to change course. There is still time for Janet to do the right thing. There is still time for Troy to do the right thing. We can do better, we should do better, and hopefully we will do better.
Democratic maneuver required lawmakers to adjourn after the budget was adopted to ensure it goes into effect on July 1st, the start of the new fiscal year. Then, lawmakers will have to reconvene to deal with hundreds of pending bills, as well as a supplemental budget with any new spending initiatives. Democrats and their allies said that the early vote ensures that government operations will continue and provides an opportunity for both parties to work on a supplemental budget to address extra proposals later. Democratic Representative Melanie Sachs, who co-chairs the Appropriations Committee, said earlier this week they are trying to pass already promised tax relief measures and funding for basic services first, and would consider the new proposal for the budget's Part 2. A 19-year-old Waterville man will plead guilty to conspiring to provide materials to support terrorists after reaching a plea agreement with prosecutors. Court records show Xavier Pelkey allegedly conspired with others to conduct a violent attack on a Shia mosque in the Chicago area. He's also accused of possessing 3 homemade explosive devices that were not registered to him. Pelkey faces up to 15 years in prison on the material support charge. He also faces a maximum fine of $250,000 and lifetime supervision upon release. As part of the plea agreement, prosecutors are dropping the possession of homemade explosive devices charge. Schools in Skowhegan were closed yesterday after a picture surfaced on social media that Skowhegan police say posed an indirect threat of harm at MSAD 54 schools. According to Skowhegan police, there was a picture depicting an individual holding a firearm. The police department has been in contact with the schools since Wednesday night and early yesterday morning. The decision was made to close school for the day yesterday morning. Chief Bucknam says that as early yesterday afternoon, the individual involved had taken the initiative to reach out to the police department and was meeting with detectives regarding the photo. In other news now, the Maine American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations, or AFL-CIO, held a press conference highlighting key worker issues. More than 200 workers stood on the steps inside the Hall of Flags as union members spoke on issues working people are facing. The organization and workers' union urged legislators to pass bills that would limit employers from imposing mandatory overtime on mill workers and prohibit employers from forcing employees to attend anti-union meetings. They're also asking to improve patient safety in hospitals, close the state pay gap, and strengthen apprenticeship standards in construction. The conference was part of Maine AFL-CIO's annual Labor Lobby Day. The Maine State Chamber of Commerce held its annual Business Day at the State House inside the Hall of Flags Thursday morning. Our Matthew Jurancic has the story.
It's an opportunity for us to invite Maine businesses, our members, to come to Augusta and meet and connect with legislators and talk about what's important to them as they run their businesses.
Business leaders from Hannaford Supermarkets, Northern Light Health, and Jackson Laboratory were among those who attended the Maine State Chamber of Commerce's Business Day at the State House. Opening remarks were given by Maine Chamber of Commerce President Julia Muncy in legislative leadership, highlighting the importance of Maine's businesses.
As I like to say, Maine people are the heart and soul of the state, but Maine businesses are its lifeblood.
Attendees had the opportunity to showcase their businesses on the big stage, with many offering merchandise and demonstrations. Muncy says the event helps strengthen the bond between businesses and policymakers.
It's really about making those connections and for people to have an opportunity to meet one another and to get to know one another and to have those conversations about what's important to each other and to understand each other's perspectives.
Versant Power's lead communications specialist Marissa Miner shared what she learned from talking to legislators.
A lot of people in the southern part of the state aren't even familiar with Versant Power, so we're sharing our service territory and some of the projects that we'll be doing this year.
Poland Spring Community Relations Manager Heather Printup says she enjoys the connections made every year through this event.
We love this day in particular because we are surrounded by so many other great Maine brands, and it's really an opportunity not only for us to engage with the legislators, but us to be able to engage with other businesses as well.
In Augusta, Matthew Jurancic reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
The FDA has made a life-saving overdose reversal drug more widely available than ever before. Our David Ledford spoke with Bangor Area Recovery Centers about what that could mean for the community.
I think it's a great idea. I think it should have been done a long time ago.
Narcan, a nasal spray that reverses drug overdoses, can now be sold over the counter. The product is the brand name version of the drug naloxone. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved the spray Wednesday, marking the first naloxone product greenlit for use without a prescription. Maine Addiction Recovery Center representatives say that the change is vital for the state.
Naloxone is needed everywhere, and I believe that whether people think that there is a problem out there in our community or not, like there is. I know plenty of people, especially people close to me, who wouldn't be here today and wouldn't be accessing recovery if it wasn't for naloxone.
According to the FDA, there were more than 100,000 reported fatal overdose deaths nationwide in the 12 months leading up to October 2022, primarily driven by synthetic opioids like fentanyl. Some say they hope the change will stop people from driving for hours to get the help they need.
I think it's great, especially those in rural areas that can't get, to centers or to places or even to their doctors to get it.
For others, increasing the availability of the drug is a step towards understanding.
Any reduction in stigma that, results from things being more widely available and more talked about is always a good thing. We want people to know that naloxone is effective and that it's safe and that it's important.
According to the FDA, the approval of the medication will require a change in labeling for generic naloxone nasal sprays. The timeline of availability in stores will be determined by Narcan manufacturer Emergent Biosolutions, which the FDA says may take months. The over-the-counter price for Narcan has yet to be determined. In Bangor, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The time is now 8:10. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, a decades-old professionally trained search and rescue team has been forced to disband. We'll have the details of that and more, but first let's take another look at that forecast. Increasing clouds as the day goes on today. Highs will be about 45 degrees. Dropping down though to about a low of 33 tonight. We may even see about 1 to 2 inches of snow overnight, which tomorrow will turn into a wintry mix and rain by the end of the day. High of 51 degrees.
If you're eligible for Medicare and Medicaid, a Medicare Advantage plan from Anthem Maine Health can come with all the benefits you want and zero compromises. Just go to anthemainehealth.com/answers or call 855-753-3928 for a one-on-one Medicare plan review. Ask about our $0 monthly premium plans that include dental, vision, and hearing coverage, along with transportation, a free gym membership, and $0 copay for prescriptions, all for zero extra cost. Plus, you could be eligible for extra benefits to help you save even more. We have plans with up to $2,500 a year to help you pay for over-the-counter health items, groceries, and living expenses like cell phone, electric, or water bills, all on a single prepaid MasterCard you can use at thousands of locations nationwide. Call Anthem Maine Health at 855-753-3928 or visit anthemmainehealth.com/answers and get a Medicare Advantage plan with zero compromises for you and your wallet.
NexGard is the flea and tick protection that's #1 with vets. Your vet trusts it for her patients and her own dog. Plus, its delicious beef flavor is #1 with dogs. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Ask your vet about NexGard.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home, chances are you have a lot of questions. Norm Prouty has answers. Learn some tips and tricks and explore some beautiful new homes on the market. The Norm Prouty and Donnell Baker Real Estate Show, Sunday mornings at 8:30 on Fox 22.
On the next Last Man Standing.
Do you think I could use that scope to take out that gopher in the backyard?
It's Pest Control Baxter style.
There you go, young lady. Possibly the only kid on the block with a $900 scope on a $99 pellet rifle.
And Mandy's love life has Mike worried.
Were you waiting up for me?
Oh, nah, just catching up with my reading. Jokes for the John. Just as funny out here.
Last Man Standing.
This afternoon, starting at 4 on Fox 22.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Well, Acadia National Park is temporarily closing the carriage roads during spring thaw. Starting today, the carriage roads will be closed to protect them during mud season. Warmer weather and wet conditions soften the roads and make them susceptible to damage. Walking, bicycling, and riding horses under those conditions can cause ruts and potholes that channel water and make erosion worse. The National Park Service will reopen the carriage roads once the gravel surfaces dry out and become firm enough to prevent damage. In the meantime, though, visitors can explore hiking trails and the Park Loop Road, which remains closed to motor vehicle traffic until April 15th. With inflation continuing to push prices higher, food is not always a guarantee for many. That's why Husson University has teamed up with the Good Shepherd Food Bank and United Way to provide a pop-up pantry on the Bangor campus. Our Jody Hersey stopped by and has more.
I personally know from an educator standpoint that if my students are fed well and are supported holistically, they are learning better in that environment.
College students are no different than anyone else when it comes to having to stretch every penny.
It's not just students that live on campus. We're talking commuter students. We're talking about students that do live on campus and looking for ways to stretch their dining dollars further.
Husson University's student government conducted a survey and discovered many who attend classes are struggling with basic needs, from personal hygiene products to peanut butter or pasta.
We try to make sure that there's well-rounded diet, so we do get fresh produce as well as canned vegetables, fruits, starches, grains, and then also we have the ability to provide some fresh proteins as well.
On Thursday, students and staff packaged 60 food pantry boxes inside the Newman Gym for those in need. All the items supplied were either donated or funded by the Good Shepherd Food Bank. United Way, or on-campus organizations as well as alumni and staff. The owner of Catalyst for Change Wear, a Husson alum himself, created a Kid from Husson t-shirt where all the proceeds raised supported the Food Insecurity and Emergency Fund.
The campaign raised over $500 to kind of be that starting pot for some of these pop-ups.
Second-year student Jessica Supoznik says being part of the pop-up pantry at Husson is a great way to give back to her school and her community.
It feels great to be involved, I gotta say. I did switch around my schedule so that I could be here to help out because this is an important thing for college students especially.
In Bangor, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Dirigo Search and Rescue has announced that they're disbanding and will close at the end of November. The professionally trained search team, made up of volunteers of all ages, has been out helping in search and rescue operations around the state for the last 55 years. For decades, they would get the call from state police and the Maine Warden Service to help out on ground tracks for people in need. According to Dave Martin, president and founding member of the team, he says the pandemic hurt their numbers and it's been hard to recover.
We've had a pretty good run and 55 years, and we've had a lot of community support that we've really appreciated, and we're working on what to do with all our assets.
And says that some of the members may retire and others who remain in the area may be picked up by other teams within the Maine Association for Search and Rescue. He says the team has been called to help find at least 500 people over the years. They also assisted during the Kentuskeg Stream Race and Machias River Race. All right, the time is now 8:16. After the break, there's good news for Maine's moose population as new data appears to show better resistance to tick-borne illnesses among the animals. We'll have this and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
Jerry's Used Cars has been a family-owned business for more than 30 years, currently in Corinna and Vesey. However, we have changed a little as we are no longer just a buy here, pay here dealership. We now have access to outside financing and also carry utility trailers. We would be happy to assist you with your next vehicle purchase. And don't forget, here at Jerry's Used Cars, we offer an extended warranty. So give us a call at either our Corinna or Vesey location.
At Hood, our love for New England inspired New England Creamery. We make it with premium Hood milk and cream, then we overload it with the good stuff. Like Green Mountain Mint chip with a rich fudgy swirl. Maine Sweet Blueberry with real delicious blueberries. And Cape Cod Fudge Shop, packed with fudgy truffles. Hood's New England Creamery. From Hood, for New England. Try all 13 flavors.
LA Galaxy, Seattle Sounders, Saturday at 7:30 Eastern on Fox.
You just never know what you're going to stumble across.
A couple from Aroostook County is putting the Pine Tree Trail back on the state map.
Looking at the potential of what it can do to help all these communities that are struggling, there was really only one answer, and that was to revive it.
We'll have the story of Maine's Forgotten Trail Monday on Fox 22, News at 10.
Sure, the driveway looks good now with the snow on it, but you know what will still be under there in the spring? The same cracks, crumbles, and potholes that were there before winter. Call Eaton Paving today. Let's make an appointment to fix those problems when the weather is ready. Eaton Paving and Excavation.
A store that has served the town for generations is up for sale once again. Devin Dagnall has the story.
For over a century and a half, the Brooklyn General Store has served the town of its namesake.
But according to one of the owners, since acquiring and renovating the store in 2016, he and his other partners have decided it's time to pass on the torch.
So we're looking for a new owner or owners to come in and make their mark on it and keep the kitchen going and continue to serve the community for as long as they possibly can.
According to employee Don Sheehan, one of the reasons the store needs to stay open is because it's the only one for miles around.
It's 20 miles to the store in Blue Hill, you know. So, I mean, that's 20 miles, that's a 40-mile trip just to go in and get your milk and bread, you know.
So this store began in 1872, and I'm sure it functioned in a lot of ways then that it does now in providing essentials to the community.
What makes Brooklyn General Store so special is the fact that it's not just another place to get groceries. It's a hub for the entire community.
That's one of my favorite things about this store is even if I don't need anything, I usually stop in just in case. I've got a friend, Ed, who walks his dog Rocket every day. They come in here.
Rocket and I, have a habit of walking 2-3 miles every day. For about 3 years now, we've had a group of friends that get together here to have breakfast and drink coffee.
According to locals, even though the store has been passed from owners to owners and been rebuilt from the ground up, it's always kept the same spirit of community through the generations. Owner Bob Mannheimer says there are a few people already interested in purchasing the store, but if you have any interest, keep your eye out for the listing in the next few days. In Brooklyn, Devin Dagnall, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Good news for Maine's moose population. Far fewer calves are dying from tick-borne diseases. The Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife says a study of about 70 moose calves last year showed an 87% mortality rate. Compare that to this year, where a study of the same size showed less than 3% mortality. Maine's moose biologist Lee Kantar says it's too soon to tell if the dramatic drop indicates any sort of trend.
If all of a sudden you and I have this conversation 2 years from now, and we've had 2 years where survival was good. Now we're starting to build something here where we're like, well, that's good, 2 years in a row. But, we're not there. We don't have a crystal ball to see what next year is going to look like.
Kantar says the state will have a better idea about how ticks are affecting moose after April. He says reproductive rates are also lower than what they should be because of ticks. All right, the time is now 8:22. Time to get a full look at that forecast with meteorologist Evan Biggs.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast sponsored by the Mortrude team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. They work throughout the state of Maine, serving both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. Already here we are. The last of a gale warning is going to get dropped at about 8 a.m. this morning. Things will begin to improve from there. Watching that gale watch further off towards the south that might get expanded in our direction, and some capacity you ought to keep an eye on that to see how it does develop in time. Wave height is still a little active out there right now. Closer toward land, not too bad, around 1 to 3 feet, but this buoy right about in here also encompassing the last little bit of that gale warning there, showing some of the wave heights at around 8 feet out there this morning. But for now on land, we're looking pretty good out there. A little bit of snow outside of the country right now. We'll be watching for increasing clouds today for more activity that's off toward the west. Look at this big mess right about in here, causing showers, thunderstorms, snow, wintry precipitation, you name it. It's going on across parts of the Midwest this morning. This will begin to track off from the west to the east over time. So we'll be watching for a little bit of this to get in our backyard as early as tonight. So futurecast moving forward, increasing clouds will be the general idea. There is a snow arriving by about 7, 8 o'clock later on tonight. It will last through at least until tomorrow morning. We'll get a little bit of a break by around 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning. Then the main event gets going with plenty of rain on the way. Maybe a wintry mix to the north early before everybody switches over to rain with the warmer temperatures that will begin to move in. A few more waves of rain cannot be ruled out before Sunday morning. This all begins to taper off and we begin to improve. But as for snow accumulations, nothing to get too worried about at all. Maybe an inch or two in a few spots before we're all finished up. Lesser opportunities further off towards the east. So nothing to get too worried about, though. We'll mainly switch over to rain and probably see a lot of this melt as we do proceed forward in time. So otherwise, though, let's talk about precipitation here. All this measured in the form of water. So about a half an inch or less of rain and maybe melted down snow before we're all finished up. Maybe some higher opportunities further down toward the south. So we'll have to see how that does develop over time, though. But at least possibly some water on the way here across the region. So your forecast for today, mid-40s. Increasing clouds will be the general idea. West wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 33 degrees. Rain and snow showers on the way. 1 to 2 inches of snow possible. Lesser amounts to the east. Southeast wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, here we go. Lower 50s. That wind stream mix mainly to the north, though. Everybody will switch over to rain. Areas of dense fog as well. Southeast wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. Alrighty, here's a look at your extended forecast. Sponsored by the More True team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Mostly sunny on Sunday. Highs in the upper 30s. Lower 40s by Monday with a mostly cloudy sky. Partly cloudy on Tuesday. Highs in the mid-50s.
Up in Smoke Fireworks is family-owned with a huge selection including Brothers and Showtime, Time Bandit, and Black Hat brands. We will share our knowledge with you, then go have a blast. Up in Smoke Fireworks, 173 West Main Street, Searsport.
No matter what type of dog you have, or cat you have, Frontline Plus lets you take them everywhere, no matter how you define it. Frontline, the #1 name in flea and tick protection.
Sure, the driveway looks good now with the snow on it, but you know what will still be under there in the spring? The same cracks, crumbles, and potholes that were there before winter. Call Eaton Paving today. Let's make an appointment to fix those problems when the weather is ready. Eaton Paving and Excavation.
Up in Smoke Fireworks is family-owned with a huge selection including Brothers and Showtime, Time Bandit, and Black Hat brands. We will share our knowledge with you, then go have a blast. Up in Smoke Fireworks, 173 West Main Street, Searsport.
Donald Trump making history as the first former U.S. president ever indicted with criminal charges. While they remain sealed at this point, sources familiar with the case say Trump could be facing more than 24 counts related to business fraud. Trump was investigated for allegedly falsifying business documents relating to a 2016 hush money payment, allegedly made on his behalf to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Trump maintains his innocence, calling the case a politically motivated witch hunt. Fox News correspondent Jackie Ibanez reports.
He's ready to fight.
Donald Trump is now the first former president in U.S. history to face criminal charges after a Manhattan grand jury investigating an alleged hush money payment made on Trump's behalf to adult film star Stormy Daniels indicted him Thursday. Trump calling the decision, quote, an attack on our country, the likes of which has never been seen before.
The rule of law in the United States of America died.
Trump's former Vice President Mike Pence says the indictment is an outrage.
When you have an attorney general in New York and a Manhattan DA that targeted one particular American in their campaigns, I think that offends the notion of the overwhelming majority of the American people who believe in fairness.
Some Trump supporters in Florida agree, protesting the grand jury's decision Thursday night. But many Democrats say no one is above the law, including a former president. Congressman Eric Swalwell of California believes this is an opportunity to prove how the justice system is alive and well, tweeting in part, quote, Donald Trump deserves every protection provided to him by the Constitution. As that unfolds, let us neither celebrate nor destroy. Justice benefits us all. Meanwhile, Trump swears the indictment will not stop his ongoing 2024 presidential campaign. According to Trump's legal team, he's expected to turn himself in sometime next week. When he appears in a Manhattan court for arraignment, he'll be fingerprinted and photographed for a mugshot.
A freight train derailed early Thursday morning in western Minnesota. BNSF Railway say it's on the ground helping to monitor air quality. Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney has more.
Nearly 24 train cars derailed and caught fire in Minnesota overnight, forcing residents to evacuate their homes. The accident happened around 1 a.m. local time in the small town of Raymond, roughly 100 miles west of Minneapolis. BNSF Railway says several of the cars were carrying ethanol in corn syrup. Firefighters have been working for hours to put out the flames.
And your first thought is that's a big bomb waiting to explode on that. I hope you know that the safeguards that were put in place, the regulations and the things that the railroad does, is to make sure they don't explode.
Police say no one was injured in the accident and residents were allowed to return later Thursday morning. The railway, along with EPA officials, say crews will remain on the ground to ensure the health and safety of the community.
Ethanol will burn off, and we're monitoring the air, and we're monitoring all the conditions around the derailment site.
This derailment happened nearly 2 months after a Norfolk Southern train ran off the tracks in East Palestine, Ohio. On Thursday, Democratic senators from Pennsylvania and Ohio introduced the Railway Accountability Act to help prevent future catastrophes and hold railway companies accountable. At a news conference, BNSF CEO defended the company's operations.
99.99% of all hazardous commodities get to destination without incident. So we are very safe. We are a very effective movement.
The NTSB says it's launching an investigation into the cause of the Minnesota derailment. In Chicago, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
When we return, we'll have all the news out of Hollywood. We'll be right back.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Perfect.
Nice. As long as we're imagining.
Give it up for your rating fishing champion!
Me? Oh, come on.
Right now, you could save up to $1,000 with affordable 3.99% financing on an all-wheel drive RAV4. And every RAV4 comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance and more.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Take your taste buds on a journey and experience the brand new International Menu Tuesday through Thursday only at the Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub. Every Tuesday, enjoy their delicious French cuisine. On Wednesdays, enjoy their memorable Italian delicacies. And every Thursday, be ready for a fiesta with their Mexican favorites. A full 5-course dinner for just $29.95 per person. And don't forget about their all-you-can-eat seafood Fridays. The Lucerne Inn, beautiful dining with a delicious view.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Today is Friday, March 31st, 2023, and I'd say it's just so satisfying when we're able to end the month on a Friday. Similar to a Monday, but Fridays are good too. Happy Friday, by the way. And don't forget, tomorrow is April Fool's Day. You still have time to think of a good prank, or your defenses if the other people in your life are good at thinking of pranks. Today is also National Farm Workers Day, and I'd say it's more important than ever to support local farms if you can. It can be a bit pricier, but it's because it's definitely worth it. Prices are high to do anything on a farm these days. And with spring being here, a lot of agricultural farms are gearing up by planting their seedlings. If you want to search for local farms near you in Maine, the University of Maine has a great online resource. I found this yesterday. Try Googling local farms in Maine. That's what I did, and it brought me to the Farms in Maine page under UMaine's Undiscovered Maine webpage. There, I found a map and a list for farms in our state. I think it's a great resource, and I really suggest it. All right, now time for our history portion. On this day in history, in 1736, Bellevue Hospital was founded in a New York City almshouse. It was the first public hospital in the United States, and it's the oldest public hospital in the United States. It is now called a safety net hospital, one that provides health care for individuals regardless of their ability to pay. And I'm currently reading a book about Bellevue written by David Oshinsky, and I highly suggest it. On this day in history, in 1831, Quebec and Montreal were incorporated, and on this day in 1889, the Eiffel Tower officially opened in in Paris. At 300 meters high, it retained the record for the tallest man-made structure for 41 years after it was opened. And on this day in 1918, the first daylight savings time went into effect. For birthdays today, we see the birthday of Cesar Chavez, who was an American labor leader and civil rights activist who co-founded the National Farm Workers Association. Thus why it's also National Farm Day. He passed away in 1993. And it's also actor Christopher Walken's birthday, who is 80 years old today and is known for films like Catch Me If You Can and The Deer Hunter. Okay, moving on now, let's get a look at that forecast to see what kinds of events will be best for this weekend.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy Friday. Your first weather forecast sponsored by the More True team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. They work throughout the state of Maine, serving both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. All right, let's get into things. The last of a gale warning here will be dropping at around 8 a.m. this morning. Things will begin to improve from there. I'm watching that gale watch right there, too. That could get expanded further off towards the north and east, but for now, it's not being expanded just yet. That further down toward the south by Boston is up until about 10 a.m. as we head towards your Sunday. For now, though, we're looking rather quiet out there. The only idea that we'll be seeing today is increasing clouds as we'll be watching for another system that will begin to move in from the west going toward the east. And we're seeing all the excitement right about in here. This will track off towards the east over time, and this will give us the opportunity for some more rain and snow that will be on the way soon. We have a little bit of snow on the way later on tonight. So increasing clouds today, some snow on the way later on tonight. Could be seeing about an inch or two before we're all finished up there, before it starts to switch over to rain as we head towards your Saturday. Alrighty, as for the wind, nothing too ridiculous now at about 5 to 10 miles per hour today, but it will start to increase, especially as we head towards your Saturday, maybe up to 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusts up to 25 miles per hour in a few spots. So for today, increasing clouds, highs in the mid-40s, now west wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, increasing clouds, temperatures in the 40s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up.
Country music's biggest party celebrates rock legends, Scott Pilgrim gets another adventure, and more. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
This time we walk straight in the front door.
Harrelson heads to the White House. Scott Pilgrim's adventures continue, and rock legends will be honored in the Hollywood Nation. An all-star tribute is taking place during the CMT Music Awards this weekend. Billy Gibbons, Winona Judd, Paul Rogers, Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash, Cody Johnson, and LeAnn Rimes are among the music royalty coming together to honor legendary Southern rock band Lynyrd Skynyrd. The celebration comes weeks after the death of the band's final original founding member, guitarist Gary Rossington, who passed away on March 5th. The fan-voted ceremony airs live on CBS this Sunday.
Hey, what's up?
The cast of the 2010 live-action cult classic Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is reuniting. Michael Cera, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Kieran Culkin, Chris Evans, and Aubrey Plaza are among the originals reprising their roles for the Scott Pilgrim anime series on Netflix. Tom Hiddleston teams up with Apple TV Plus to celebrate Earth Day. The actor narrates upcoming wildlife docuseries Big Beasts. The streamer released the first official trailer to the show that will take viewers on a journey across the world to meet some of nature's massive creatures and the struggles they face due to their size. It premieres April 21st.
They are trying to break us.
Today's First Looks also includes The White House Plumbers, starring Woody Harrelson and Justin Theroux. They portray the real-life former CIA and FBI agents whose botched burglary toppled Richard Nixon's presidency. The limited series premieres on HBO May 1st.
Plumbers, we fix leaks.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Still to come here this morning, Ryan Sudol will have the latest with sports. Plus, we'll have a live in-studio interview. We'll be right back.
I've been in a few accidents and had surgery on my right foot first and contracted a blood disorder. I had quite a few seizures after that and then had a massive stroke. That was a really rough time in my life. Donna has helped me through so much. She knew exactly what I was going through, and she made sure that I had nurses in my home. She helps me with all of my medications. She coordinates all my rides to any facility I need to go to. She talks to my doctors personally. Thanks to Donna, I'm sitting in my own home and I'm getting the care I need and I'm getting all the therapy I need. It's made my life tremendously easier.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Donna?
I am okay. How's your morning been? You're not overdoing, are you?
No, I'm not overdoing it.
Okay, remember you are in recovery. You come first.
She gives me hope. She gives me faith. She puts a smile on my face every time I talk to her. I call her my second sister, and I've never even met her. Hello.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Oh my goodness.
Well, it is good to meet you.
I have to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you've done for me.
That's what I'm here for. I love being able to make your life easier when I can and get you the care you need.
And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'll never forget you.
Never forget you either, buddy.
If I didn't have Donna in my life, I don't think that I'd be sitting where I'm sitting right now.
For the final time, Cody Rhodes goes face-to-face with the undisputed champion Roman Reigns. An all-new Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, tonight on Fox.
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's start out on the turf. Hampton Academy made some history this week as they rolled out varsity boys lacrosse for the first time ever. Tyler Cruz has the story.
It's the best thing in the world. You know, we've been a club team for 2 years and we're finally able to get on the turf.
It's been a long time coming.
I think it finally gives some of us that have been playing our whole lives some recognition. We've been fighting for this in the town meetings and everything.
But for the first time in the school's history, a varsity boys lacrosse team took the field at Hampton Academy for practice this week.
We've been trying to make it a varsity sport. We got the idea my freshman year, 3 years ago, and it's great to have it finally be a sport, varsity sport.
It's just a great feeling, you know, able to grow the sport and introduce so many kids to it, and hopefully they'll fall in love with it like I did.
And 40 Broncos showed up to work.
Everyone's really excited to be here. That's why we have such good numbers compared to any program I've ever been on. And we're taking it one day at a time, and it's going in the right direction.
Great numbers. I mean, as you can see, look, we've got 40 guys here, so a lot of these guys have played for a lot of years, so it was definitely a need in the community.
A lot of other schools don't even have this turnout, so it's great to see that, you know, as a first-year sport, this is like unheard of.
Now, there are some first-timers out there, but a lot of these guys have been putting in the work these past few seasons, either with the Broncos club team.
It was a great experience, got a lot of interest in the program, and, it was great.
Or over in Bangor, where some of them helped the Rams win their first playoff game in history just a year ago.
Now they're bringing that experience and what it takes to get back to that. So these guys are pushing the rest of the team.
Just some veteran experience with this being a JV team the last couple of years. We can share our experiences to all the 40 guys. I think we'll be on the right page.
I've grown up with a lot of those buddies, but it's going to be good to play them this year and show them what we're made of as Hampton students.
But all 40 Broncos are setting out to do one thing this season, and that's show the state of Maine what Hampton lacrosse is all about.
My biggest goal for our team is we can earn some respect. I think a lot of people, all the teams we're playing, just look down on us. I think we're a first-year team, just a JV team last year. Get some wins and earn some respect.
These guys are focused right from the get-go. There was no fooling around. They knew that, they want to prove themselves and prove that they belong as a varsity program in the area.
Reporting in Hampden, I'm Tyler Cruz, ABC 7, Fox 22 Sports.
Thank you so much for that, Tyler. Let's stay on the lacrosse field now. We'll head up the road to Husson, where the Eagles women's lacrosse squad has won 3 of their last 4 games heading into conference play. Husson closed their non-conference slate with a big road win at Emerson College on Tuesday, and they open NAC play this Saturday when they host UMaine Farmington at 4 p.m. The Eagles were picked to finish 5th out of the 7 teams in the NAC, and they say they're out to prove some people wrong, and it's their chemistry and communication that's been leading them so far this season.
I think our team is a lot more connected this year. We have a lot of good new players. We have a lot more people this year, and we just, after every game, we always focus on what we need to work on, and that's been helping us a lot.
I think it's definitely just our team sticking together and bringing each other up on and off the field, whether it's on the bench or in the game. Everybody's just cheering each other on, and we're just always there supporting each other.
The Eagles offensively have been on fire. They've scored just under 15 goals a game their last 5 games. And one of the leaders there is freshman Avery Baker. Baker, who also plays field hockey in the fall, says she wasn't even going to play college lacrosse. But now she's been named the NAC's Rookie of the Week for 3 straight weeks and says it's her team that deserves some of that credit.
I've been scoring quite a bit, but the team really has done good at fast breaks and getting the ball up the field. My first day of practice, I just felt like I was part of the team. Like they just took me under their wing and just have been supporting me throughout the season, just keeping me at my best.
Okay, now let's hit the rink. A big one at the TD Garden as the Bruins look to clinch the President's Trophy with a win over Columbus on Thursday night. Let's get right to the action. First period, Liam Foodie on the break for the Jackets. He'll find Jack Roslovic in stride right next to the crease. Nice pass and finish. Jackets lead 1-0 after 1. Second period, Bruins on the power play. Pavel Zacha gets it in. Backhander to Tyler Bertuzzi at the doorstep. He sneaks it by. We are tied at 1, and it would stay tied through the third. We go to OT, and just 30 seconds into OT, Hampus Lindholm up ahead to David Pastrnak. How about sending him home? Pasternak's 53rd goal of the year as the Bruins win 2-1 in OT. They clinch the President's Trophy and break the all-time team record for single-season wins with 58. Going back to 1970-71 season there. Now let's get to some baseball. Opening day around the MLB on Thursday. Red Sox starting off their 2023 campaign at home against the Orioles. There you see Rafi Devers, the multi-million-dollar man making his way out onto the field. Top 4. Score tied, not for long. Ramon Urias jumps all over Corey Kluber's fastball over the monster for the 2-run jam. To the 5th, Kluber out. Ryan Brazier in. Adley Rutschman, he gets a hold of this one, slaps it the other way. That brings home 2. It's 8-2 Orioles. Here come the Sox, though. Bottom 8, Christian Arroyo ropes this one over the head of the left field. That's a 2-run double. It's 10-7. 10-8 now in the 9th. Masa Yoshida looks like he's going to hit this one into a game-ending double play, but the throw is errant at first. That scores Alex Verdugo. It's 10-9, and now Adam Duvall is the winning run at the plate, but he swings right through the 0-2 pitch. Sox fight but fall in Game 1. 10-9 is the final. Okay, that's all the time we have for sports. I'm Ryan Sudol. We'll be back right after the break.
Hello, Maine. This is Steve McKay. It's a wintry mix out there, but pockets of orange are standing out against the white blanket of snow throughout the state. Next Home Experience is listing and selling homes just like yours. Get looped and get sold with Next Home Experience.
It's a fact. 2 out of 3 Americans who qualify for Medicare do not receive all the benefits they deserve. If you're eligible for Medicare and Medicaid, a Medicare Advantage plan from Anthem Maine Health can come with all the benefits you want. Call Anthem Maine Health at 1-844-594-1602 today for a free Medicare plan checkup and to make sure you have everything you qualify for in 2023. You can receive extra benefits for a $0 monthly premium, benefits like dental, vision, hearing, and $0 copay for prescriptions. And to help you stay healthy at home, you can have free prescription drug delivery, online doctor visits 24/7, and free exercise classes. You can even receive money toward over-the-counter health items. Don't be one of the Medicare beneficiaries not getting all the benefits you qualify for. Call 1-844-594-1602 today and feel confident you have all the benefits you deserve for 2023.
Now is the time to consider taking care of your driveway or parking lot. With more than 25 years experience, Harvey Paving and Seal Coating specializes in asphalt maintenance. A fantastic way to extend the life of your asphalt is by taking care of it, and we will fill in all the cracks and seal coat afterwards. This leaves your driveway with a beautiful finish looking like new. Why not increase the curb appeal of your residential or commercial space? Give us a call today at Harvey Paving and Seal Coating for a free quote, 262-0154.
Looking for your dream home? Contact a Next Homie today and see what's available right now. Sellers, get ready to get looped and get sold. With Next Home Experience, we have your buyers.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. I'm here with Sarah Stewart. She is a family nurse practitioner, and she's certified specifically in obesity medicine, and she's here to talk about one of the talks she's going to be providing in a couple of weeks. Sarah, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Yeah. So it looks like in Lincoln in April, you guys are going to be hosting an informational talk about weight management and a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
Can you go into that for me?
Yeah. So on April 29th, we're going to be hosting it at the Stewart Professional Learning Center in Lincoln, Maine, on Main Street. It's April 29th at 2 p.m. Myself, along with a colleague, Mindy McInnes, who is also a family nurse practitioner, we're going to be talking about destigmatizing weight. So what we know now about obesity is that it's a chronic disease. It's relapsing and remitting, so it kind of comes and goes.
Right.
And
especially if you're a woman too. I mean, certain hormones.
It's
so
like hard, especially with menopause and birth of a child, loss of a loved one. There's so much that plays a part in weight gain. And then once you're there, you have all this hormonal dysfunction that occurs as a result of the weight gain. And so the tools that we're going to be talking about at the events is really targeting the hormonal dysfunction that's playing a role. So it's not going to be the same old story about, eat less and move more, right?
I think that can be quite harmful, is just focusing on weight loss. It's like, what can we do to make you feel better?
Right.
And I like that you brought up kind of destigmatizing, thinking about these things. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think there's a lot of guilt and shame and embarrassment that comes with obesity and with weight, and it's not fair. It's not fair to the person who is suffering. It's not fair for loved ones to be blaming their family members.
Right.
We really need to take that away from people because it's not their fault. They have hormones that are telling them they are starving all the time, and trying to ignore a hormonal signal is like telling yourself to stop breathing.
Yeah.
It's just impossible. So that's what I'm trying to provide in the office. That's what I want to share to the community. It's free. I want everyone to come, not just people who have been struggling with weight themselves, but maybe family members or people that just want to learn about health and nutrition and how to navigate the grocery store.
Yeah.
We'll offer recipes. We're going to do some body comp measurements if people, private if people are interested.
Cool.
We'll do drawings for prizes. So it should be really fun. And I'm hoping to, I actually have one coming up in Bangor the following week on May 6th. Yep, at the library.
So we have one in Lincoln and Bangor.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I think that is so interesting. I mean, it's not necessarily for somebody who maybe wants to lose weight or thinks they need to lose weight. Eating nutritiously is something we can all consistently learn more about forever. And I think that's the kind of the state of being alive. So this is your specialty, right? So people can come see you once they learn more about this.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't put that out there, only because we are kind of full with patients right now.
Naturally,
so this,
I understand.
This isn't to promote my practice. I'm not trying to sell anything. I really just want to provide accessible information for everybody. I really care about the health of the community, and that's really the purpose of this. Yeah.
So on that note, you have a TikTok, right?
I do.
You've gone viral on TikTok before, right?
Yeah, I did. So I was sharing some information on Facebook, and I was getting a lot of engagement. People were messaging me, and I had a friend that was like, you should just put some videos out there.
Yeah.
So I thought the best platform to do that would be TikTok, of course. I never thought at 35 I would be doing TikTok videos, but
it's a good platform. I get it.
Yeah, the second video I put out was about facts about obesity, and it just took off. I think there's about 74,000 views on that one video. Wow. Tons and tons of comments about people just desperate for their provider to listen to them.
Yeah.
They were looking for where I was working. I mean, it's kind of heartbreaking to hear that people have gone to their provider and either been blamed for their weight.
Oh, yeah. It's a common story.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Sarah, it seems like we're out of time right now, but we will post this online so people can have more information. What's your TikTok handle again?
TikTok is Maine Obesity Med NP, and then I also have a Facebook group called Worth the Weight, WEIGHT, of course. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sarah, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. We'll send it over to Devin Biggs for our full weather forecast.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast sponsored by the More True team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. They work throughout the state of Maine, serving both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. Already here we are. The last of a gale warning is going to get dropped at about 8 a.m. this morning. Things will begin to improve from there. Watching that gale watch further off towards the south that might get expanded in our direction, and some capacity you ought to keep an eye on that to see how it does develop in time. Wave height is still a little active out there right now. Closer toward land, not too bad, around 1 to 3 feet, but this buoy right about in here also encompassing the last little bit of that gale warning there, showing some of the wave heights at around 8 feet out there this morning. But for now on land, we're looking pretty good out there. A little bit of snow outside of the country right now. We'll be watching for increasing clouds today for more activity that's off toward the west. Look at this big mess right about in here, causing showers, thunderstorms, snow, wintry precipitation, you name it. It's going on across parts of the Midwest this morning. This will begin to track off from the west to the east over time. So we'll be watching for a little bit of this to get in our backyard as early as tonight. So futurecast moving forward, increasing clouds will be the general idea. There is a snow arriving by about 7, 8 o'clock later on tonight. It will last through at least until tomorrow morning. We'll get a little bit of a break by around 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning. Then the main event gets going with plenty of rain on the way. Maybe a wintry mix to the north early before everybody switches over to rain with the warmer temperatures that will begin to move in. A few more waves of rain cannot be ruled out before Sunday morning. This all begins to taper off and we begin to improve. But as for snow accumulations, nothing to get too worried about at all. Maybe an inch or two in a few spots before we're all finished up. Lesser opportunities further off towards the east. So nothing to get too worried about, though. We'll mainly switch over to rain and probably see a lot of this melt as we do proceed forward in time. So otherwise, though, let's talk about precipitation here. All this measured in the form of water. So about a half an inch or less of rain and maybe melted down snow before we're all finished up. Maybe some higher opportunities further down toward the south. So we'll have to see how that does develop over time, though. But at least some water on the way here across the region. So your forecast for today, mid-40s. Increasing clouds will be the general idea. West wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 33 degrees. Rain and snow showers on the way. 1 to 2 inches of snow possible. Lesser amounts to the east. Southeast wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, here we go. Lower 50s. That wintry mix mainly to the north, though. Everybody will switch over to rain. Areas of dense fog as well. Southeast wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. Alrighty, here's a look at your extended forecast, sponsored by the More True team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Mostly sunny on Sunday, highs in the upper 30s, lower 40s by Monday with a mostly cloudy sky. Partly cloudy on Tuesday, highs in the mid-50s.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
NexGard is the flea and tick protection that's #1 with vets. Your vet trusts it for her patients and her own dog. Plus, its delicious beef flavor is #1 with dogs. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Ask your vet about NexGard.
Silver Fox Automotive is a family-owned and operated company with more than 30 years of experience. We are originally from the county and offer competitive prices and promise you will be completely satisfied with our work. We offer a stress-free experience to both our new and returning customers. We only use parts from reputable brands to ensure your vehicle is safe to drive. Here at Silver Fox, there will always be a friendly face to greet you. Come see us at 2004 Audlin Road in Herman.
Wednesday, the farmers get a kick in the pants.
Mama's opinion, she's the one.
And a surprise departure shakes up the farm.
Take a deep breath, it's gonna be okay.
I don't do well with that.
All new Farmer Wants a Wife, Wednesday at 9 on Fox.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Public libraries are lending so much more than just books these days. The Carver Memorial Library in Searsport is lending out backpacks for all ages with various themes like Maine, birding, or math. These backpacks are filled with books, DVDs, and games. Library members can loan out the bags for a month at a time. The library even has a seed lending library within the building for those wishing to start a small garden of their own.
We lend all kinds of things, like you mentioned, the backpacks. We've also got musical instruments. We've also got craft kits. We've been doing a lot of